Time to continue King Lockhart's journey. Maybe. There we go. Maybe. Problem swapping between windows. Yay. Doesn't like it. Okay. Sorry for the false start. Let's start again.
Soulcalibur 6.
Okay, level 50 Kain is probably nearing more or less the end, though there's a lot to do now. Okay, let's see. Let's go ahead and just make an overall exploration west, starting here with Blood and Faith and Ivy. Having accepted a request from the Wolf-Crone army to take out the remaining members of Covenant Shield, I found myself facing a woman named Ivy who had a deep, complicated connection to the group. Only so charged attacks are effective. Okay. That's not very reassuring. She's only level 40, but... My sword whispered that someone unique was near. I suppose that was you. Just yesterday, I'd accepted a job from the army of Wolf-Crone, a small nation between the Holy Roman Empire and the Kingdom of France. They wanted me to hunt down remnants of the Covenant Shield. Among my orders, I found a document describing a woman wielding a strange sword. Apparently, she called herself Ivy. So Wolf-Crone is moving against the stragglers and malfested trash, I see. They're certainly wasting no time. And you must be the bounty hunter they hired to deal with me. I've severed all ties with the knight and the demons. Then again, I doubt that you'll accept that, or that my past transgressions will be forgiven so easily. I stared at her in silence, and she smirked. I suppose this is the fate of those who dance the Soulage's tune. Very well, hunter. Claim your prize, if you can. Darn it. Ouch. Jeez.
You take me for a fool. That's it. Hurry up. Behave.
Ouch. Darn it. That was a waste of a soul charge then.
Fight.
Darn it.
Behave. I'll make you submit.
Okay, one down. Now I have another soul charge left for the second fight.
Now send it. Burning center. I'll make you submit. Submit. Do this. Know your place.
Whew, that was close. Being able only to attack, do damage while still charged is certainly rough. Down this curse upon me. Perhaps death will be sweet release. Ivy was desperate, and desperate people are doubly dangerous. As I watched her warily, suddenly her sword transformed into some sort of whip. It coiled around her as if it had a mind of its own, shielding its master. But what was this anguish I saw in Ivy during our fight? And how could her sword writhe like a living thing? Who exactly was this woman? While uncertainty clung to my heart, I couldn't bring myself to strike her down. I lowered my weapon, choosing words over weapons this day. About her outfit, yeah. Through alchemic study, I forged this weapon in the hope of destroying the cursed sword. However, inside it lies a great darkness, life bestowed upon it from that accursed blade itself. The blood of the cursed sword flows through my body and blade, binding us as one. My fate is tied to it as it is tied to me. Ivy stared at her sword, her eyes intent. She spoke of it like it was part of her. As I pondered how to respond, I felt the earth tremble below me. Ivy raised her head. A dust cloud rose in the distance. A large number of mounted soldiers were heading right for us. They carry the flag of Wolfcrone. Humph. That young regent truly is determined to sweep every last malfested from Wolfcrone's soil. Ivy's blade eagerly responded to her will, curling back into a solid sword. No more denying the truth. If half of me still wishes to defy fate, then the other half must endure it. With that, Ivy turned and sauntered away. She walked with poise, dignity, a haughty and aloof queen beyond reproach. Okay, time to continue the expedition. Opening roads, deal with ancients. We'll do that first, and then the little songbird. Lizalot explained that the beacon had to be kept lit for a week in order to make contact with the hidden village clan. On the 8th day, attack power increases every time you parry an attack with reversal edge. Reduce your opponent's health below a certain level to win. Okay. Jerky is our reward. Oh, goody. Does it cost 10,000 gold? We moved deeper and deeper into the trees, feeling eyes on us all the while. At last the trees broke into a wide clearing. At its center was a great stone carved with decorative symbols. Oh, here we are. That's the ancient altar I've been looking for. I'll put this on top and... Lizalot poured an odd powder onto the altar and set it alight, sending a foul-smelling purplish smoke into the air. According to the marvelous old text passed down through the Crone family, this beacon will summon the hidden village clan after 7 days have passed. We need to keep the fire going until they show up, so we'll have to take turns tending it. Well, it's been 7 days. Let's keep the fire... How long do you intend to linger here? Eek! There was a young man standing behind Lizalot. It was likely his gaze we felt all this time. His clothing was not at all similar to that of the villages nearby. Where did you come from? Are you lost by any chance? I am Omid, warrior of the Hidden Village. Why are you trespassing in our forest? Aha! You're from the Hidden Village! Of course, of course. Seriously? Judging someone on appearance alone, are you? I can see why the elders hate outsiders so much. You summon your senior and yet dare to doubt me? As I was wondering who the senior was, Lizelot spoke again. Now that I think of it, the text did mention that the people of the Hidden Village clan had extremely long lifespans. So, forgive me, Sir Omid. I do not deign to speak with pitiful fools. If you will not leave on your own, then I will drive you away by force. And so immediately we go into combat with that. Oh no, you got me. You're so strong. As I looked on, perplexed by Omid's obviously faint defeat, he whispered to us, Play along, the elders are watching. Yeah, we come to you in peace. We only wish permission to pass through this forest to maintain trade with other villages. We promise not to disturb you, so please permit us this. After Lizelot delivered her speech to the forest, Omid spoke again. Listen, everyone. They are strong, and they followed the laws for a full week. Don't they deserve at least this? Omid's voice was swallowed by the silence among the trees. Before too long, an arrow shot out from the shadows and landed at Lizelot's feet. Eek! Oh, there's a note attached. Let's see. Provide 1 sack of sugar on each new moon as tribute, and those who have been granted permission may pass. Outsiders may not speak to the people of the Hidden Village clan. Very well, it's a deal. The road was on its way to being built. Life in the village would soon improve. That's cute. They're hidden little elves called the Hidden Village clan in the forests of... Eastern Europe. Where would this be at? My European geography isn't super great. That's about... Yugoslavia-ish? Oh, the city got bigger because of that. Nice. Oh well. A long time ago. I ran into a young girl named Tira while walking along an old forest path. She spoke in a strange manner and told me she was being followed. So we're not going to fight Tira, we're going to protect her from more of the birds of passage. Okay, that's fine. Sure, there are a lot of people happy about that. I kind of have mixed feelings about Tira. Her style's cool and all, but I'm not a super huge fan of obviously evil people. And it isn't her fault, but she's very much... As I walked in an old path through the forest, I came across a large metal ring hanging from a tree branch. Intrigued, I moved in closer when from above I heard a gleeful voice. Hiya! Looking up, I spotted a slender young woman peering down at me from her perch atop a branch. She should be about 14 right now, because she was supposed to be, I think, 17 at the start of Soulcalibur 3, which takes place in 1890, so she's actually about 13, 14 now. So one of the things that I didn't like about her story mode was that they had a lot of fights taking place when she should have been very young. I've never seen you before. You don't look like you're following us. I asked her if she was alone up there, but she ignored me and continued her monologue. You know, I was just starting to get a little restless. She nimbly jumped down from the tree. The name's Tira, and I'm so famished I could die. Have any snacks for me? I don't know if this is gloomy or jolly. Tira held both her hands out. I took some bread from my pack and handed it to her. Thanks, you're the best. I've got just one more favor to ask, Kay? Tira looked at me, her eyes brimming with anticipation. Yeah, we'll listen. As soon as I answered, a group of men appeared. These guys were good. I hadn't noticed them until they were nearly upon me. We've been looking for you, Cern Drossel. The man who spoke appeared to be their leader. He seized the young lady and took her metal ring from the tree. No, stop it! He turned to leave, still holding Tira captive, then called back to his associates. No witnesses. Yeah. So it's not even like you have a choice to give her up, really. Because they're determined to kill you anyway, since you talked to Iser and Drossel. Three beats, spamming attacks, always. With my attackers defeated, I looked around for the man who had taken Tira captive. He and his prisoner were nowhere to be seen. As I searched the area, I noticed what appeared to be a trail of breadcrumbs. Oh my, are we going to go on a little quest to rescue Tira now? Is this extending?
In your body.
She's using the breadcrumbs to direct us. Okay, that's cute. Not a fleck of moonlight broke through the tangle of branches overhead as I made my way through the dark forest, following Tira's trail of breadcrumbs. Eventually I reached a clearing where I found the ruins of a castle. Skilled at grapple breaks, and their throws do more damage. Okay, I just won't grapple then. I followed the trail through the trees, deeper and deeper into the forest. What's this Tira's doing? Before long, an old half-collapsed castle came into view. The trail of breadcrumbs led right to it. I crept toward the castle, scanning the area for danger. I spotted several sentries, all of them dressed like the man who had taken Tira. From what I could see, the sentries demanded a password to enter the castle. For such an old place, it was guarded extremely heavily. Maybe if I got closer, I could overhear the password, or even try reading someone's lips. It was worth a shot. How do you read lips when they're all got their heads covered, though? Suddenly, a piercing scream came from inside the castle. Too focused on discovering the password, I stumbled in surprise and stepped down hard on a dry branch. A loud snap cracked through the air, and one of the sentries caught sight of me. Oi, you! What do you think you're doing? So that probably means there's at least one more fight after this in order to rescue Tira. I never thought I'd have to go and rescue Tira, of all people or things. Of course, she's probably already killed them all herself, being Tira.
Battle 1. Fight. No more half measures. Battle 2. Fight. Prepare to die. Prepare to die. Ready? Ready? Try this. No mercy. Stop.
Whoops, not what I intended. Oh well. This'll do it. I hit down in the ABK instead of back ABK. I don't know why I did that, but whatever. Down ABK is the same as there. Luckily, I hadn't drawn the attention of anyone else. After I subdued the sentry, I demanded he tell me everything he knew. They don't tell me nothing. I'm just one of the Bird of Passage's hired lackeys. What brings you here? Revenge? Did they kill your family or something? Or are you being offered a pretty penny to take them down? Heh, doesn't matter, I guess. This is just one hideout of many. Whoever you're after probably ain't even here. So the castle was the hideout of this group of assassins, the Bird of Passage, which means that scream I heard. I knocked the sentry unconscious, tied him up, and rolled him into a thicket. I had to sneak into the castle without being seen. This is turning into quite a little mini-adventure. Oh! Just checking this out. I think this is... Okay, nope, that's just an In Search of Strength. Okay. Lost Little Bird. Death Ring is out. Castle was one of the Bird of Passage's lairs, but only silence filled the gloomy halls. Something was not right. Yep, now we're going to have to fight Tira. Level 54. Okay, what's some good food? 20% health recovered on reversal edge hit. 45% on critical edge hit. I want to save that for a really big battle. Health plus 20% from that. Soul gauge cost minus 35%. Okay, let's spam some fire. Fresh blood-stained corpses were scattered throughout the castle. All had been disfigured in the same way. Their eyes were gouged out and strange symbols were carved in their flesh. The gruesome sight and loathsome stench made me recall the scream. Was Tira okay? I climbed a staircase, proceeding further into the castle until I eventually reached a large hall. I could hear someone moaning nearby. The source of the sound soon became clear. Tied to a chair and covered in blood was the man who'd taken Tira. He was likely the leader of this bird of passage base. He was on the verge of death. Like the cadavers decorating this castle's halls, his eyes had been gouged out. His head thrashed wildly, and he wailed in agony. Who is someone there? I remained silent, but the man continued. He must have thought I was one of his own. Listen, report to the Archaeopteryx. Isern she... Isern That name sounded familiar. Ever since she used the evil seed to escape, she's been hiding in Eastern Europe. Though she changed her name and feigns normality, the same blood boils inside her. The man began to speak feverishly, as though consumed by fear. The blood of a butcher of human flesh. She tore her false family to pieces. She's come back to. She must be caged again. Know her false name. It's Tyr. Before he could finish, a giant metal hoop dropped from above and cleaved him in two. His corpse slid to the floor, the blood-soaked disc protruding from the ground next to it. I'd seen that weapon before. You took ages. I've been waiting for you. Tira slid out of the darkness to claim her weapon. Unaffected by the sight of the corpse, she looked at me and tilted her head. Remember how I said I had another favor to ask you? Want to hear it? No thanks. You're hilarious. Okay, listen up. I'm gonna dye you red. Okay, that's the Tira I know and am disturbed by.
Battle 1. Fight!
Where shall I begin?
Darn it.
No more half. Battle 2. Fight!
Where shall I begin?
Ouch.
Scream for me. Such a beautiful sound. Can't be it, right? So close.
Distance now!
Ah, darn it. Whew. I still had another one to go, but... Ayo, Bam, CC2? Looking at me as though nothing had happened, Tira spun her ring and launched another attack. I'm not done playing with you yet! Show me the color of your blood! I just barely parried her blade in time. Its movements were difficult to predict, as though it was being controlled by more than just one person. What part do you want me to gouge out of you first? Gotta be the eyes, right? Who cares? I'll chop you into tiny pieces. Tira spoke as though she had two personalities fighting for control of her mind. Was she possessed or was she just mad? Whatever the case, if I didn't do something quickly, I was in danger of being overwhelmed. I held off her onslaught while slowly backing into a room. Here, one weathered wall was partially collapsed. What's up, little mousey? Nowhere else to run? Time for the kitty to pounce on her prey. Tira flew towards me with her blade. Somehow I deflected her attack. You're really starting to annoy me. Okay. The wall in which Tira had embedded her ring crumbled and fell. Dragged along by the force of her momentum, she went down too. Terrified that she might still be alive, I approached the gap and peered down. Neither Tira nor her weapon were anywhere to be seen. All I could make out was a single black feather falling gently down onto the debris. Oh boy. Well, that was a fun distraction. The Deep Ravine. Lizard men and cult priests. As I wandered through a forest, I stumbled across a deep ravine, and the area around it littered with signs of a bloody battle. Wall hits have greater knockback power. Hits have greater knockback power, and wall hits do more damage, both you and your opponents. Okay. As I walked through the thick forest surrounding Ostrheinsberg Castle, I came across a seemingly bottomless chasm. Walking alongside it, I found traces of battle, fallen trees, churned earth, and the corpses of lizard men. As I continued on, the sights of fighting grew fiercer. What on earth could have happened? It was then I heard voices not too far away. This must be a piece of Astaroth, to think this could have happened to that brute. We may never create a golem as perfect as he again, but at the very least we must find his divine core and bring it back with us. Peering from behind a tree, I spied two priests examining the ground. Two lizard men accompanied them, most likely the comrades of the corpses I'd seen. Rah, rah. Suddenly the lizard men screeched in my direction. I'd been spotted, or maybe smelled. Who goes there? Four enemies here. They don't seem very tough. With a lizard man style in the game, supposedly Edgemaster's style has been like found in data mining or something as well. Oh, these guys are weak. So those are possibly two DLC characters, or maybe they're ones that will be even given to us free later on. Just the thing, don't know. Always a hope. The season pass is supposed to give 4 characters, including Tira. So that leaves 3 more. Huang and/or Yun Song would be preferable, but I looked at what the priests had been examining. It was a bluish arm, too big to be a human's and covered in unusual cracks. Nearby, a large axe was embedded in a tree. Who could have defeated that monster? Suddenly a strange urge to check the ravine overwhelmed me. Looking down, I saw something white snagged on the cleft's wall far below. I strained my eyes and saw that it was a tattered white cloth covered in blood. Then I realized I was looking at Maxie's jacket. As I leaned forward to see if I could spot Maxie himself, a malicious presence approached me from behind. By the time I realized I was under attack, it was too late. Something pushed me from behind, and as I plummeted into the rocky depths, the last thing I remember seeing was a bloodied lizard man at the ravine's lip, screeching victoriously. When I opened my eyes, I found myself in a dimly lit cave. The burbling of a river and the cracking of a fire filled the air. Enjoy your sleep? You know, I catch a lot of fish here, but you're the second person I've hooked now. I turned my head towards the voice and saw an old man sitting by a campfire. He wore unusual clothing and religious paraphernalia was hanging from his waist. Perhaps he was a shaman or cleric of some sort. This river flows from the base of a mountain a short distance from here. That's where you washed in from. I looked you over and you seem to have no major injuries. How do you feel? I told him I was fine and thanked him, then asked about the other person he'd found. He said he'd discovered a badly wounded man not long ago, his injuries so severe that he'd lost the use of his limbs. Realizing he needed specialized help, the old man took him to a doctor in a village a short distance away. However, he had yet to receive word of it if the injured man had awoken. For now he needs rest more than anything. I have a feeling he'll wake up and walk from the village on his own 2 feet. It'd be wise of you to give him time to recover. His gentle words hanging in the air, the old man made his way out of the cave. In other words, we want you to find out what happened to your first Soulcalibur buddy, Maxi, but you're not to go encounter him at this point. Grr. Okay, another spot appeared near here. Is this anything special? Bounty for scoundrels is all. More Thomas. Am I gonna have to pay him more money now? I really want to get something out of him at some point. That's the way this usually goes. No money, so we're going to have to... Around Carbuncle, though. I wonder what that does. Did Thomas find trouble, or did it find him? Either way, he was now arguing with a wool dealer. Only kicks and throws are effective. That's a bit problematic. Okay. As I made my way south from the hub of maritime trade that was Amsterdam, I heard what sounded like an altercation in the distance. I drew closer to find a young man I recognized exchanging a few choice words with a wool dealer. I'll have you know this is the finest wool around. You mean to tell me you can't even pay half of what we agreed on? Why? Silence, you swindler. I know how cheap this stuff is. I've got tons of it sitting in my warehouses. I had heard that textile manufacturers were abandoning the country in droves to escape the fighting. It's possible that this dealer's customers had all fled and he was trying to renege on his contract with Thomas. Just give me the goods and get the hell out of here if you want to live to see tomorrow. The dealer knocked Thomas down and drew his weapon. I should probably save him. Because, you know, that's just what I do. Wander around solving everybody's problems. Life of any RPG protagonist.
Battle 1. Fight. Take this. Try this. Now. Damn you.
My unconventional negotiation tactics helped me convince the large man to purchase Thomas's cargo, though at a price still lower than that originally agreed upon. Phew, you really helped me out of a bind here, friend. I traveled all this way with that cargo and was about to be cheated. You know, I came here to raise funds for my new business venture, but it looks like I ended up losing loads of money instead. Oh yeah, that's right, I have something for you. Let's see, here it is. He took a bundle out of his bag and handed it to me. Please accept this as a token of my gratitude for all the investments you've made in me. I wouldn't be where I am now if it weren't for you. Well, now that that's out of the way, I've got the favor of a lifetime to ask you. I want to keep undertaking new ventures. Now that I've seen all the known world has to offer, everywhere I go just bores me, so I'm going to sail the oceans, discovering new sea routes, and finding things no one has even dreamed existed. But doing that comes with a hefty cost. Even England's famed explorers were funded by the crown. But you know, if I had just enough money to get things started, so friend, care to give me one final push in the right direction? This better be the final. Not that I have that much worry about money anyway. Are you sure about this? Thank you, friend. I promise this will only lead to good things. Now I have a round carbuncle, for whatever that's worth. Okay, now I have a mysterious thing here with the sorcerer. I didn't get a single encounter this entire way, probably for the best. I arrived at the tavern long after the sun had set. The place was loud and lively. A table of tipsy young folk played cards, a wizened old lady nursed a mug, a barmaid giggled with a customer. What caught my eye was a well-built fellow at the end of the counter. Drinking silently, he surveyed the room, an occasional smile forming on his lips. I made my way through the throngs of people to the counter. While I was waiting for my drink, the man slipped up to me and began to speak. Evening. You're a different sort, aren't you? Pardon me. It seemed that the man had noticed me, too. I asked him what he meant by a different sort, and he smiled. My hobby's been people-watching, you see, so I get a kick out of finding people like yourself who are a little, well, unusual, shall we say. I pulled back, not wanting to get involved with this shady character, but he carried on talking regardless. I met me another different sort the other day, a white-haired fellow with strange golden eyes. He was covered in scars, so I thought he might have been a rough sort, but turns out he wasn't bad folk. Interesting to natter with, too. Said he was looking for a sorcerer. He wanted to know if I knew of any of that sort. Well, I just told him about the old lady across the river, the one who knows a thing or two about medicine. You know, the Witch of the Oak. When he came back the next day, he wasn't happy. He said, "Damn it, don't need some old hag who can lance a boil. Need someone who can open a gate or knows someone who can. Tell me where to find them now." The cheek! Apparently the white-haired man just shrugged and left when he found no answers. "So you know a person of a different sort yourself. What do you think that guy's deal was?" I like the way you think. Besides, I could see it. Certainly was funny enough, that one. But whatever he was, he looked real serious, like he'd never had a laugh in his life. The man seemed to suddenly remember something and pointed to the table of card players. He told me they had card games to use from, too. Asked me what sort of rules we play by here. Boy, was he clever. Picked up the game in seconds. Cleaned me out in a twinkling, too. It really was like magic. Ha! The man continued to talk for hours, flitting from topic to topic with seemingly no intention of stopping. Okay, so that's more about Geralt. I got cider for talking to him. That's nice. But that's it? Nothing else. Okay, time to end the expedition. And continue on with our story, because we don't really have anything else important going on, except for my eventual... I have two I need to undertake eventually, but I want to be higher level with better items first. Bad news and blades. Bad news was waiting for us when we returned. Aswell lived. It seemed impossible that anyone could have survived, but it was the truth. According to our intelligence, Aswell was seen meeting with his followers. He delivered this message to them. 2 months from now, when the moon is full, the ceremony that shall save humanity will commence. His followers have already begun moving. They appear to be heading to Ostrheinsburg Castle, where the ceremony will no doubt take place. From what we have learned, the castle is located on a ley line, and it serves as a focus for spiritual energy. In 2 months' time, during the full moon, the stars will align to their yearly high, and the natural energies will reach their peak. Natalie fell silent, a grim look on her face. Next to her, Dion let out a sigh. So he intends to tap into the power of the heavens and the earth. How could he have survived? I thought this man an impostor at first, but this plan is Aswell written all over it. However, if he is alive, then there is hope for Sir Grow. Dispel such thoughts, Dion. Even if Grow is still alive, it is likely he has become an outsider. We have no time to waste searching for him, and when next we meet, we will likely be forced to kill him. If the aim of this ceremony, Aswell spoke of, is to create the ultimate seed, then the situation is grim indeed. We must act without delay. I agree. We need to rally together to put an end to Aswell's machinations, and stop him from bringing about calamity. The only time we'll be able to locate Aswell for sure is when he's at Ostrheinsburg Castle for the ceremony, so that is when we make our move. Natalie and I will return to headquarters to prepare. Under normal circumstances, we would demand you accompany us. We were tasked with keeping an eye on you. However, we owe you much. So, what do you wish to do, Kain? I want to search for Grow, Aswell, or another astral fissure. I'm gonna be the good guy and search for Grow. Thank you. I sincerely appreciate your concern for Sir Grow. However, he would want us to prioritize Aswell now. With that in mind, will you help us? I was worried about what would happen if Aswell succeeded in creating the ultimate seed. While I feared for Grow's safety, I agreed to help. So it doesn't even matter what you say. What will you do? I want to do this. Oh, well, you shouldn't do that. You should do this instead. Okay. Thank you, Kain. When we are ready, we'll send a messenger. Until then, prepare well. As Dion and Natalie disappeared from view, a voice spoke behind me. They have finally left, I see. Where a moment ago there was nothing, there stood Soulcalibur. Do you believe you can defeat Aswell by cooperating with the Vol? I remembered Grow, driven mad by the immense power of his malfestation, and how even then he proved ineffective against Aswell. Soulcalibur clenched his fist, shaking his head softly. I do not wish to say you cannot win. In fact, it is quite the opposite. There is indeed a way to defeat that lunatic. Kain, you have absorbed the power of a multitude of astral fissures. I believe that you have gained the strength to be able to resist the astral chaos. That strength is the key to victory. Did being able to resist the astral chaos's influence mean I no longer needed to rely on its power? I asked Soulcalibur if he knew the answer. That is correct. You no longer have reason to fear for your life. It seems you still retain your ability to absorb astral fissures, though. I felt a weight lift from my shoulders. However, Aswell was still a problem. I asked Soulcalibur how I could defeat him. Listen very carefully. As you've probably already heard, Aswell will be performing the ceremony soon. That means he's been able to create both the cursed and spirit swords. However, they are still mere imitations and can be destroyed by the true swords. Without them, Aswell's plan will end in ruin. Both the true spirit sword and the true cursed sword have disappeared from this world and are trapped in the astral chaos. It would be impossible to retrieve both, but just one would be enough. Someone of your strength could reach into astral chaos and claim one of the true swords as your own. In theory, at least. Soulcalibur pointed at me. However, there is something you still lack. Whichever sword you seek, you need to bind yourself to it to retrieve it from the astral chaos. Simply put, even though you possess the power to retrieve the swords, you still lack the ability to find them. To strengthen your connection to the swords, you must do battle with those whose fates are already entangled with them. Fighting those with knowledge of the swords will strengthen your connection to them. Then, once you are bonded to the swords, you should be able to summon one from the depths of the astral chaos. Know that when you call for a sword, the one that most resembles your soul will appear. Until it is in your hands, it is unclear which sword will choose you. This is the only way to beat Aswell. Only you can do it, but that does not mean your success is guaranteed. Even if you claim a sword, you may not have the power to wield it. And do not think for a second that Aswell will stand idly by while another plots his ruin. If Aswell proves stronger than you, you will die. It would be a great pity to see your life taken away from you just as you have reclaimed it. I thought back to my conversation with Dion and Natalie. I was ready, and now I knew how to stop Aswell. I looked Soulcalibur in the eye and nodded. Low odds or not, what other choice did I have? Go. By now you should be able to sense the true swords. Seek strong warriors linked to them. And here's a little bit of spending money for some reason. Okay, well, that explains why you can only do a good or an evil side. You can't do a neutral, because you need to have one of the swords. Yeah, still only level 25 weapons here. All damage plus 15% sounds like a really good one. That would be a standard one too. Good. 20 health recovered at start of round. If that works on every round, that would be a valuable healing item. So we are approaching the end game here. Probably finish it up this morning. I may do the other big bads after that. What would it take for me to explore to there? Just 390. Sensing Spirit Sword. Interesting that now you have to travel, though. This is in Amsterdam again. Shanghua. Seeking those linked to the two swords, I made my way to a nearby grassy plain. For some reason, though, I was picking up two separate auras. Buffalo Key. Whatever that is. 45% health recovered on CE hit. Oh, I just used some of this. Soul Gauge recovery every second. That sounds fun. As I concentrated, I sensed two powerful warriors linked to the sword's destiny nearby. To think I'd see you here, Kain. Your journey has been long too, it seems. Wow, it's been a while. How are you doing? I explained that I wished to fight them in order to obtain the power to stop a great disaster. They looked surprised. You believe a duel will grant you power? I confess I do not fully understand. But how on earth did you know where to find us? I hesitated to tell them about my new powers, so instead I told them I'd simply overheard rumors of their whereabouts. Well, since you came all this way, I could hardly turn down a sparring match. Me neither. They nodded at each other and Shanghua stepped forward. Well, I'm up first. She's the one who wielded the spirit sword anyway, so... I guess if you're going Golden Sword route, you probably find Siegfried. And or Nightmare.
Battle 1. Fight!
Getting things off.
Take this.
Parrying the fire, come on.
KO. No more half measures. Battle 2. Fight. Take this. Watch this. Miss me. Watch this. Done.
That's great.
No more half measures.
I won't hold back.
3. Fight. Try this.
Watch over me, Mother.
Oops. That's gonna hurt.
You can't stop me. Do you give up? Die.
The fight with Xianghua awakened memories of a deadly battle for control of Soul Edge. Phew, you just keep getting stronger, don't you? I thought I'd gotten pretty good myself, but I guess not good enough. Now it is my turn. Promise to meet again. I could see the strength and determination burning in Keelik's eyes. What had happened to him on his journey? My mind full of questions, I readied my weapon. Oh yeah, my weapons. Wow. 75% soul gauge increase. Experience plus 15%. Gold plus 10%. Guard gauge damage plus 30%. Let's go ahead and do that. Are you ready? Then let's begin. Short and to the point. Just the way we like it.
Battle 1. Fight.
Fight me with all your might. Forgive me. Take this. Take this.
He's beating me up.
What? Already at a loss? Not quite.
Whew. He really pushed me.
No more. Battle 2. Fight.
This is not
No
real.
more half measures.
I feel my spirit
3.
surging.
Fight.
Okay. First one was the only tough one. Once I got used to him, he wasn't too bad. The fight with Keelik awakened memories of a deadly battle for control of Soul Edge. I thanked them both, then asked where Maxie was. Their smiles faded. We got separated during a fierce battle. He took on a powerful enemy alone so we could escape. When we went back for him, all we found were his nunchaka. Maxie's tough. I'm sure he's fine. But if you hear any rumors, let us know, okay? I assured her that I would. Kain, I will not ask you about this disaster you're trying to prevent or your new power. Allow me to say I hope you succeed in your mission. Keep on fighting. Don't give up. After seeing them off, I moved on in search of my next target. I needed to strengthen my bond with the swords.
Your soul surges in your body.
I need to go after like a level 50 sword power equivalent to get a higher level weapon. I think I probably need one more. Man with the giant sword. That's going to be Siegfried, actually. Okay, so I'm going to fight him anyway. Can't reach down there. City of the Dead, the hidden room. Artificial scriptures, screams. Okay, so that's a unique one I need to investigate at some point as well. It's 4:20 from here. It's probably quicker to go back to the town. Yep. In the dark corners of a mountain thick with trees, two warriors did battle. In a flash, the warrior with the giant sword struck down his opponent. The victor's name was Nightmare. Ah, perhaps not. Perhaps he's already been consumed again by Nightmare. Oh, I don't need a weapon. I was looking at more food because I have so much I might as well use it. Guard durability plus 60%. That might be useful. Sensing someone linked to the swords, I made my way towards the distant mountains. Hearing the sounds of battle, I crept forward carefully until I saw two warriors engaged in battle. Urgh! Ha! Nope, it is Siegfried still. Ah! The man holding a gigantic sword cut down his opponent, a swordsman in red armor. The victor stared down at his fallen foe with a dark look on his face. Damn you to hell, Nightmare! Cursing his killer with his final breath, the man in red armor passed away. The surviving swordsman turned toward where I had concealed myself, his massive sword held ready. You're there. You there. It's no use hiding. Show yourself. I stepped into the open and approached the man, explaining that I wished to fight him to obtain the power needed to prevent a great disaster. He responded with a frown. Prevent a disaster? What sort of... Wait, I sense you have a connection to the sword. No, it's more than that. Very well. I'll see for myself what the strange power I sense from you is. Let the fight begin.
Battle 1.
Fight my hand! Stay back! Or face your death! This ends! Okay, let's go! One strike! Crush you! I can do this!
Battle 2. Fight.
Do this! No more! Half looks like I've no choice!
3. Fight.
Time to die! Stand aside!
Lethal hit. The man with the fight, the fight with the man awakened memories of a deadly battle for control of Soul Edge. The man stumbled and lowered his sword, lifting his hand to his head as if dizzy. Why do my memories haunt me again? Did you get what you came for? Soul Edge must be suppressed. I asked the man why his opponent had called him Nightmare. Because that is who I am. I have to seal away Soul Edge, even if that means I must pay for my sins for all eternity. Without another word, the man turned his back to me and strode off into the forest. I called for him to stop, but he ignored me. Oh, interesting. Schwarzwind, feelings shared. This is just a story mission, though, not a battle mission. Interesting. So what's it about? During my travels, I had encountered a man who wielded a giant sword. I wonder if he was the Siegfried fellow Sali and Lando had spoken of. I was musing over this when I overheard someone mention that Schwarzwind was camped not too far away from the village in which I was staying. I asked where exactly Schwarzwind had set up camp and then hurried over. Once I arrived, I was greeted by two familiar faces. Kain, it's been a while. I didn't expect to run into you here. So what brings you around these parts? You finally ready to become a member of Schwarzwind? Salia had an air of calmness about her now, while Lando seemed to have grown into a veteran mercenary. After exchanging pleasantries and learning of recent happenings in their lives, I told them of my encounter with the man who I thought might be Siegfried. What? Where did you see him? What's he doing? Did you talk to him? Salia became flustered and bombarded me with questions, but Lando was able to calm her down. Easy, Salia. Kain's gonna tell us. The two listened intently as I told them of my encounter with the man on my way toward Ostrheinsberg Castle. He was carrying a large sword about the length of his body, and although he seemed fine when I spoke with him, he called himself Nightmare and wandered off, seemingly tormented by something. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. That's him. What the hell is that guy thinking? We're his comrades. We're here to help. Actually, now that I think about it, he was never the type to open up to others. I guess he hasn't changed in that regard. Hark, I can't take it anymore. Siegfried has always kept everything to himself. He probably has no idea how long we've been waiting for him to return. That's it, no more waiting. We're going to hunt him down and bring him back ourselves, right, Landau? Salia, yeah, once we find him, I'll be sure to give him a good smack upside the head. No, I'll be the one to smack him. I'm afraid you'll get too far and ruin that nice face of his. The two of them laughed and bumped fists. I sincerely hoped Siegfried would eventually realize how much these two cared for him. Wishing both of them well, I left their camp and continued on my journey. Okay, so I can't go there yet, apparently. Oh no, it's actually a normal trip now. I'm not expeditioning to there. That's just an In Search of Strength. It's only level 42. If it was higher level, I might try Judgment. Zossalmel is going to challenge us now, huh? Zossalmel was waiting at the end of my journey to deepen my connection with the two swords. Saying he wished to test my strength, he readied his weapon to attack. Okay, here we go. I traveled long and far and battled a number of skilled warriors by the time the messenger from Aval found me. Natalie and Dion wanted to meet, so I set off without delay. Aval has begun gathering its forces near Ostrheinsberg Castle. I glanced over my shoulder to see Zossalmel staring at me intently. As always, he had simply appeared out of thin air. Your destiny has become closely entwined with the swords. Whether your connection is strong enough to master the blades, I do not know, but you should be able to retrieve one from the astral chaos. Temporarily, at least. But before you do, with deathly silence, Zossalmel readied his enormous blade. This is your final test. Show me your power. Even if you can claim one of the swords, you will die if you are unable to master it. I always have trouble with Zossalmel styles.
waited for this! You
Okay, that went well. You have Promise. Whether you draw the Spirit Sword or the Cursed Sword, you have but one chance to use it. Do not waste it. I parted with the Sawcello and made my way to meet Natalie and Dion. I was ready to summon one of the swords from the Astral Chaos. My goal was clear. Defeat Aswell. When I arrived at the forest by Ostrheinsburg Castle, Dion and Natalie were just finishing their preparations. You made it just in time, Kain. Our allies are in position, and Naval is about to launch a full-scale assault on the castle. Our information tells us the ceremony will be held in a large chamber called the Hall of the Chosen. That is where Aswell must be. Kain, you need not await our orders. Aswell is too powerful to defeat with mere stratagems or tricks, so when you see an opportunity to strike him down, take it. Win or lose, this will be our final battle with that madman. When you are ready, let us know.
Your soul surges in your body.
Okay, a couple of things left. Just popped up. Kashgar has one more from my blacksmith friend. Hammer to metal, uninvited guest. Okay. Day before the exhibition, I went to visit Volta, but when I arrived, your health recovers when you successfully perform a guard impact. Swordmaster's Jade. Oh, I forgot to select food. Oh well. It was the day before the exhibition. I made my way to Bolta's smithy and saw a lavishly decorated carriage waiting outside. Bolta, if you drop out of the exhibition now and work under me, I'll treat you well. I recognize your talent, and I'll give you more money than you can make here in this hovel. You want me to slave away for you, making cheap wares? Keep dreaming, Yashin. Ha ha ha, what a spirited lass. Bolta noticed me approaching as she confronted her rival. Kain, you came at just the right time. This is the smith I was talking about. Give him a good smack for me. You plan on making the same mistake as your father, girl? A man accompanied by soldiers appeared at the door. It seemed the carriage belonged to him. Stop right there. You are welcome to the shop, Aeson. Such insolence! You dare to speak to royalty in such a manner? If you're royalty, then you should try acting like it. Is it seemly for a man of such esteemed lineage to try to harass a small-time smith and to drop it out of a contest? I'm glad you understand why I'm here. Do as I wish if you value your life. Your pardon, Lord Aeson, but that's... Be silent, Yashin. I'll make you rich, but I will not tolerate you talking back to me. Make him rich and take a bit off the top for yourself, right? Are the bribes from this bargain bin blacksmith not enough for you anymore? Ch! That tongue moves too freely. Men, cut it out and nail it to the door. Aeson's soldiers drew their weapons, and I moved between them and Bolta. A workshop is no place to fight. I had to force them outside. Too easy. Siegfried weapon. Yeah, you'll pay for that. You've insulted me gravely this day. I'll see that you meet the same fate as your father, girl. Then I'll have to make sure you don't talk. Bolta spoke in a quiet, dangerous tone I had never heard from her before, and quicker than the eye could see, she thrust a sword under Aeson's nose. Yeah! Wait, take it easy, Bolta. Lord Aeson, let us simply return home. Yashin supported the mercenary captain as he led him away. If you're a real smith, let your work do the talking. Bolta was all right for the moment, but I feared for her safety. The next day, Bolta and the other competitors gathered to hear the final results of the exhibition. I hereby commission you to craft weapons for the army and grant you this royal shield as a mark of your station. Bolta had become the royal smith for the kingdom's army. She had won back the shield with the crest of King Said I, and with it, her family's honor.
Yes, I did it, Kain. Actually, we did it.
Bah, this cannot stand! Your Majesty, these two threaten Yashin and Dwarves against me, a member of the nobility. Such rogues cannot be trusted with crafting the weaponry that would defend this kingdom. Ah, Asen, it's good you're here. I heard a most interesting rumor recently. You have been using our kingdom's mercenaries for private business, yes? What? A great deal of money is required to provide weapons for an army. Sadly, some may consider this a chance for profit for themselves. For example, people who use their mercenaries for personal gain. I've been watching you for the past few months, you know, and I am aware of what occurred yesterday. So, Asen, do you have anything you would like to add? Nothing at the moment, then. In that case, I shall personally take command of your mercenaries. If you have more words, you can speak them before a judge. Guards, take him away.
But, Your Majesty...
Yashin's former workshop was seized by royal order and became the royal smithy. There, the technique used to make rust-proof swords was employed to create farm implements, and the region became famed for its metalwork. It seemed the king himself was far more skilled at intrigue than the hapless conspirators. And there's another happy ending, brought about by the wonderful protagonist of this big city growth. Boom. Kashgar is leveled up. The only problem is, of course, that I have no good weapons to throw any of this stuff into. What is some of the stuff I've got? Sailor's Aquamarine is guard durability, auto counter, auto grapple break. Attack defense plus 25%, only 1 week. Swordmaster's Jade, all damage plus 10%, that's always good. But, you know, it's just kind of curiosity I'm looking. I don't have anything that'd be useful for that. Okay, now we can do one more level up at Yangwang. A letter for Lan Wu. Jihan had yet another request from me, but this one was different. He wanted to convince Lan Wu, Lin Pei's guard, to join forces with the Five Rings. Only low attacks are effective. Well, that's annoying. I need some good stuff for that. How about... Soul Gauge doesn't do much throw damage, high attack damage, reversal edge damage, reflect damage, critical edge damage, and... Nah, none of them will be that useful to me. Koko Enra. Oh, it's good to see you again. Rohan beamed and waved me over to the table. As I sat down, he leaned forward. We wanted to talk to you about Lin Pei. I worked with Kong Wang for a long time, so I'm aware of his troubles with the Jackal. We'd always thought he was a loner, no family or anything. But apparently his bodyguard is actually his beloved daughter. Her name is Lan Wu, and she's an incredible fighter. She's always at Lin Pei's side, keeping him safe too. However, Ruan says Lan Wu might not be his real daughter at all. I asked about the possibility of Lin Pei having a child in secret or after Ruan had retired. The old man took out a few folded documents. Naturally, I investigated the matter. This is what came up. The papers detailed Lin Pei's life, but the final page was different. It was an account of a family attacked by bandits while traveling over a decade ago. The parents were slain and their valuables were stolen, but the daughter went missing. It's possible that the girl was Lan Wu, who in another life was Luna or something. She would have been just a child at the time, so it's hard to know if she'd remember her parents, but if she's not Lin Pei's daughter, maybe she'd work with us. What do you think, Kain? We get one final thing if you're going for. I'm going to have to check. It's going to be hard for me because I'm goody two-shoes and I hate making bad choices at all, but it would, when you're talking the speedrun, it's worth checking out even for a Azure Sword percent if some of the Golden Sword choices are a little bit faster. Since I've done all Azure Sword, I have no idea how the scales work, if choosing one side automatically tips you to that scale and it goes back and forth, or what else is required. Hey, Robert. Good to have back watching again for Soulcalibur 6. I'm just about to finish up my first playthrough of Libra of Souls, and then gonna start working on routing a speedrun for this. After hearing your suggestion to convince Lan Wu to forge a pact between the two gangs, Shihan nodded in agreement. A fine plan. Needless conflict does no one any good. I doubt Lin Pei will accept a proposal like that after all these years of bad blood. Don't worry, I have a plan. In any case, we need to separate Lan Wu from Lin Pei in order to talk to her, but they'd recognize Ruan and me in a heartbeat. That's where you come in. I agreed, but it was a risky task to undertake. I attacked Lin Pei just as he left the safety of the city. A sharp-eyed young woman was at his side, just as Shihan said there would be. Who in the blazes are you? You dare attack my father in front of me? You will not get away. I exchanged blows with Lan Wu while slowly maneuvering her away from Lin Pei. After I put some distance between us and him, the woman shifted her stance and narrowed her eyes at me. You're luring me away from my father, are you? What is it you're after? Tell me now. We will tell you with our swords. We will speak with our swords. I'm only one person. I don't have multiple personalities. Although I do have multiple swords for some reason.
Battle 1. Fight!
She's tough. Oh, that's right, only low attacks are effective, no wonder. I don't have too many good low attacks, that's the problem. That I know of, at least.
Good work. Give it up.
Ouch. Ouch. That's what we're still discovering. Seems like Siegfried, Aswell, and Nightmare are supposed to be really good styles for it. Goodness. Ouch. This is gonna be a tough one. Again, this is not a style with good. I'm sticking to Geralt style just for RP purposes for this, because I'm for this casual playthrough. It's more interesting that way, but. That's a pretty cheap way to win. Ouch.
Is that all? No escape.
Ouch.
Wide open.
Whew. Okay, there we go. The AI is pretty good. There's a couple of things I thought I found that were really good, but then higher level AI completely bamboozled them. So. Tricks and schemes. You've beaten me. Kill me quickly. Kill you? I could never do something so wasteful. You're such a beautiful blossom. You're Shihan. Oh, you do me an honor by remembering me. How wonderful. So, would you be my wife? Huh? Play games with me and I will make you suffer. Please, think for a moment. If we are wed, the conflict between our organizations could no longer continue, and then we, as well as the people of our cities, will breathe a sigh of relief. Besides, we would suit each other well. Everyone wins, and everyone lives happily ever after. Oops. Oh. Don't be ridiculous. My father would never... He may be more interested than you believe. Please, give him this letter. Farewell for now. Jihan waved goodbye to Lan Wu. As he watched her leave, I asked him what the letter said. Just a polite summary of a few things I know, which included, implicitly or explicitly, a threat that Jihan would share his knowledge of with Lan Wu if Lin Pei chose to decline the offer. I could feel that Jihan was barely suppressing an amused laugh. He was beginning to remind me of Kong Wong. It seemed a little forced, but I felt that the two gangs would likely come to an agreement before long. Yeah, that's about where I'm at, too. This, as I say, is my first casual playthrough. I want to experience almost everything in the game, at least. So what level guys can I recruit now? In the 40s, but that's all, huh? Regan, Midori, Aliana, Shigeru, Asuka, Astral. Some of these created by players, which is pretty cool. Zelda? That's cute. Ruan is up to 36. He wasn't very useful the one time I got him. A mummy. I have a decent warrior to help out, but... Okay. Anything else I really want to do? What are these areas here? Okay, that one up there is my Witcher goal. Oh, a Shanghua. That's cool. What's up here? Just a bounty for scoundrels. Raging fire, flowing water. While resting up in a town, I ran into Shanghua and Keelik. Shanghua was keen for us to stay in the same inn, but I could sense she was hiding something. Okay, she starts soul charged and empowered. I'm going to get some of my beloved soul charge food. We'll just do some basic green tea. 30% soul gauge. Hey, is that you, Kain? Hey, over here! A voice called to me from the throngs of people. When I looked around, I saw Shanghua leaning out of an inn window, waving at me. I could see Keelik by her side, too. Yeah, I've had one do something impressive once and try to help out, but it's one I picked up from a quest, so I'm going to go ahead and use it for a battle, you know, just to wear down a little bit of HP can help a bit. With Shanghua shouting to me the entire way, I entered the building. When I sat down, she immediately leaned over the table. I can't believe we ran into each other. Stay and eat with us. Let's catch up. Shanghua explained that Keelik was accompanying her back to her home in Beijing. I promised once I'd fulfilled the purpose of my journey, and so now we return. We're staying in the room upstairs for the night. Oh, I know. Why don't you stay here too, Kain? It's getting late after all, and there's so much to talk about. Come on, how about it? Well, it wasn't like I had plans to stay elsewhere, so I accepted. But yeah, overall, I haven't been impressed with mercenaries and the fact that their AI is not great. Early the next morning, I heard a knock at the door to my room. Kain, are you awake? I know it's early, but I have something I need to ask you. Shanghua told me to follow her, so we walked towards the edge of town. I have a fight today that I must win no matter what. So I want you to be my last sparring partner, Kain. Normally I'd ask Keelik, but I can't this time. Please say you'll do it. So that was why Shanghua wanted me to stay at the inn last night. I could hardly refuse her request, so I readied my weapon. Thanks. Okay, let's do this.
Battle 1. Fight!
Okay.
For you! This is it! All mine! Go! Don't block this! Another!
Ah, darn it.
Battle 2. Fight. No mercy.
Whoops, not the one I wanted. That was a waste. That spell is almost worthless. Yeah, let's start this one over. Goodness gracious.
The soul of a warrior now lays here to rest.
Battle 1. Fight.
She's supposed to be weak once her soul charge wears off, but she doesn't seem that weak to me. Goodness gracious.
Battle 2. Fight.
This is what a lack of a good weapon does to you. Okay, one down.
No more games.
Battle.
Yeah, easy for you to say.
Try this.
That was great. Try this. Try this. Try this. That's good. Let him have it.
Whoo! Yeah. Yeah, a lot of his moves are totally different. Supposedly he's still really OP, but I haven't been able to get used to him. You really are good, Kain. That was exactly what I was after. I even managed to think of a new trick I can try. Back at the inn, as I was preparing to leave, Keelik and Xianghua came over to see me and told me that they were heading off too. We'd been walking along the road together for a ways when Xianghua suddenly stopped and turned towards Keelik. Okay, Keelik, it's time for our fight. The winner gets to decide what our next pact is. We're doing this now? Yep, Kain's here, right? That means we have a witness. This must be the fight Xianghua said she had to win. Keelik slowly nodded, his expression one of concern. Very well, but I warn you, I won't hold back. The battle between the two warriors began. I am both sad and glad that they don't actually show the battle. It'd take a while, but it'd be fun to watch, maybe. Except that computers are too, passive. Their weapons struck at each other with blinding speed, sending sparks flying with every blocked blow. Strike, parry, riposte. They fought like two dancers, each in tune with the other's movements. As the fight went on, Keelik began to gain the upper hand. Perhaps sensing her disadvantage, Xianghua lunged forward with a desperate thrust. Ta! Keelik seemed to read her movements and deftly parried her strike. He raised the staff to deliver a telling counterstrike, but suddenly he stopped. What? This is where I win! Xianghua unleashed an arcing slash at Keelik's midriff. He tried to regain his balance in time to block, but it seemed to be too late. Yah! Ah! In a flash, Keelik landed a blow on Xianghua that sent her flying. Oops, Xianghua, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Oh, luckily my sword took most of the impact. If it hadn't, though... It sounded as though she'd managed to block just in time. Even though she had lost, her skill still amazed me. Ah, rats, and I'd gotten up early to practice, too. Kilik helped Xianghua to her feet. She dusted herself off. The last strike was yours. I hate to admit it, but that was amazing. Usually when we fight, it feels like you're holding back. When you hit me with that last move, it felt real. So I guess I'm pleased about that, at least. Xianghua. Thanks for acting as a witness, Kain, and for the sparring match, too, of course. Something still bothered me about the fight. You want to know why I stopped before that final exchange? Well, Oh, I can explain that. See, I cheated a little. Looking slightly ashamed of herself, Xianghua held out her hand to reveal a fragment of a jewel. She'd used it to reflect the light into Kilik's eyes. Truth is, Kilik gave this to me. How on earth was she able to calculate the exact angle with which to position the jewel to aim the sunlight at a moving target so quickly, and during such an intense battle no less, was mind-boggling to me, even if she had planned to do it in advance. Yeah, even when you choose the evil side, most of the characters react to you as if you're a good guy. It doesn't affect the storyline that much, like, you know, the in-depth role-playing games of today. You won, Kilik, so you get to decide the next pact we make, once we get home anyway. Very well, Xianghua. I had no idea what their pact would be, but I had no doubt that they would keep it.
Your soul surges in your body.
Okay, something new at Edgemaster's place. Pounding Heart. I made my way to Edgemaster's Cave Temple, where a familiar face greeted me. Your opponent is permanently soul charged and their attacks absorb your health. I don't really feel like that. Not right now. I'll probably do some... They probably allow you to play after you've won the game, and I'll have to level up to... maybe find some weapons to do some of this higher level content, but I think it's about time to go ahead and head to the main area. Maybe I'll check out one last couple of things around here. Oops, that's right. Yeah, I was wondering about that. It seemed like it doesn't matter if you choose a lizard man, a Malfested, a mummy, a skeleton. Everyone's like, oh, I sense a power in you, but you seemed like a good person. Want to hang with me? Opening Roads, The Offering. Intrepid Merchant, Thomas the Friend. Ah, Thomas. In Search of Strength 54. Maybe, I'm going to do a quick search around. Maybe I can get an okay weapon here to boost me up.
Stands in your way.
King's Fool. Darn talkie style. Are they really not that tough? I don't know. I want to try it, but I want to waste a lot of time in case it goes bad. Okay, in Search of Strength. You start the battle with 2 bars of your soul gauge filled. Oh, nice. I like 2 bars of my soul gauge filled. 1 hit means instant death. Wow. Yeah, I don't want to try that yet. Whoops, not the one I wanted. I went back again. That was a waste of a soul charge. Bubble bar. My word. Okay, that did not work out well.
The warrior now lays here to rest.
Okay, I need to give myself food for this.
Try this. Don't move. I'll kill you. Don't move. Miss me. Miss me. Watch this. Watch this.
Ah!
The soul of a warrior
Yes, thank
now
goodness.
lays here to rest.
My word.
Miss me. Watch this. Miss me.
How am I doing worse?
The soul of a warrior now lays
Wow.
here to rest.
What level was Soul Edge as a weapon?
Try this. No mercy.
Oops. Oh well. This will at least do some damage.
Take this.
Yeah.
Give it up. Don't move.
Okay. That puts me in better stead to take this guy out. Level 98 Steel Battle.
Watch this.
Goodness, this guy is mean.
Miss me. Miss me. Watch this. Don't move. Take this. Don't move. Too easy.
Whew. Okay. Geralt's style is kind of similar to Chinese sword in Chinese sword in Soulcalibur 3. It was one of my favorite weapons to use, but I was never all that good with it. There are some fun things I can do with this style, but oh, yeah, there we go. I just don't have enough moves that I can really abuse. unlimited spell power and soul charge is pretty good, but... Ah, darn, an evil 52 sword. I wish there were a way to change that, or that they would give you more of a focus on... Give you more good aligned weapons if you did that. Let's see, just a level 44 enemy. Yeah, that's pretty hilarious. For the most part, my best weapons have been evil, too. Yeah, there we go. See, a level 50 evil Ivy Blade. Ah, goodness. But I guess that's the way to get weapons, is to just wander around in travels and defeat these warriors. Friends, Gold, Topaz. The stage is slippery and your opponents move more quickly. Oh, god, slippery stages. Even in the desolate winter tundra, I can always count on Thomas to be in a fix and in need of help. I heard voices echoing across the windswept snowfield. Someone must be shouting rather loudly for them to travel this far. When I went to investigate, I came across a familiar face. Thomas the merchant, surrounded by a group of armed men. Look, I'm not trying to pull any funny business. My ship got stranded. Answer us. You're the one who sold weapons to the barbarians, aren't you? No, it's like I said. I was shipwrecked. Almost all of my wares were lost at sea. If that's the case, then we'll just have to check your bags to be sure. Huh? What the hell is this? A bribe for those barbarians? Ah, that's something special I found for a good friend of mine. You can't have it. Idiot, we don't need your permission to take this. You know, you look like you're about to freeze to death. Well, we put you out of your misery, and... Huh? The armed men had finally noticed me. Who's there? Please help me. We'll kill both of you, starting with him. Another Ivy Blade. Oops. Good, I got lucky there. Yeah, luckily it's not like the money is that necessary. I don't use it for very much, quite honestly. That doesn't happen often. Usually in Soulcalibur 3 and this one, when I go over a stage with somebody at the same time, it's me who loses, but I lucked out there. Retreat, retreat! The thugs hurriedly made their escape. Oh, dearest of friends, it was you. Once again, you've come to my aid. You must be my guardian angel. It was pure chance I ran into Thomas. However, it happened one time too many to be a mere coincidence. Perhaps it was destiny? Oh yes, here you go, friend. It's the one piece of treasure I was able to salvage from my ship. Thomas handed me the bundle the armed men had tried to take from him. It was quite heavy. I had to go to great lengths to get my hands on that, but I really wanted you to have it. It's a symbol of our everlasting friendship. You know, this journey made me realize something. Opening new sea routes is a task far too grand for me to handle on my own. That's why I'm going to return to the Netherlands. I'll try my hand at persuading the government to fund my efforts to explore the Northeast Passage. Thomas's face was filled with uncharacteristic resolve. Perhaps he was actually taking this next endeavor seriously, but if he was looking to sail the northern seas, I doubt I'd run into him anytime soon. Strangely enough, I realized that I might actually miss our chance encounters. By the way, I have a little request. Could you perhaps help me with my travel expenses? As you can probably tell, I'm a little short on coin right now. Ha ha ha.
Your soul surges in your body.
Oh, I didn't have to pay him this time, though. Friends Gold Topaz. I wonder what that does. What on earth is this that opened way out here? Over the Ural Mountains, just a bounty for scoundrels. Why would you ever go out that far just for some simple thing? Opening roads, the offering, so that's more at the hidden village. Friends gold topaz, nullify counter 25%. Eh, not even that great anyway. Yeah. Great, I hope he gives me a level 50 good aligned weapon this time. Your opponent's throws do more damage. Yeah. I always paid the highest price. Is it necessary, or does the same thing happen even if you pay the lesser amount? Like, a couple of the times you only get one choice, but... This is pretty funny, a knight in armor and using Maxi's weapon. Ouch. How did... Oh, jeez. Can't believe it. Yeah, I did get the,
Now lays here to rest.
Yeah, I did just get the title. That was a waste. By the way, what is this out here about? Just in search of strength? Hidden village tree oil. I wonder if that's any good. Ruffians. Horizontal attacks do more damage, so I need to use A's. Together, Lizelot and I carried the tribute to the altar for the Hidden Village clan, but when we arrived, we encountered a little problem. Of course we did. A narrow path of light wound through the darkness of the woods. We respected the will of the Hidden Village clan, taking care to cause no harm to plants, and tying back trees to create something little more than a game trail. Still, the most direct route to the closest large city had always been blocked by the forest, and though permission was required to travel the road, its opening gave the settlement new life. I'm sorry, you were only hired to guard me, but I made you my porter, too. Lizelot was very apologetic, but she was simply too clumsy to be trusted with carrying anything. When we arrived at the altar, Omid came out to meet us. We brought this month's tribute. Ah, you two again. But who are the fellows behind you? He spotted us? What? We are being followed? A group of armed men stepped out of the brush. Lizelot seemed genuinely alarmed, but their skill at stalking was crude to anyone with a bit of experience. We'll take that tribute. We know you're delivering treasure to the Hidden Village. Treasure? Well, I cannot deny we think of it as such. Shut up and hand it over! Try to take it from me. I could not allow a member of the Hidden Village clan to come to harm, so I stepped between Omid and the brigands. It's kind of neat that you can create in a character you're like, but it's also kind of sad that they don't really make any difference. Even if you're like a Hidden Village character yourself, of course, that I'm sure it doesn't change this at all. Just like it doesn't actually change even if you're Malfested or whatever. How did that miss? Oh yeah, I forgot. Horizontal attacks do more damage. Oh well. I use almost always vertical attacks with Geralt's style. Lifts and combos are always good. Lizelot sighed as she watched the would-be thieves run away. Maybe I should tell everyone that the tribute is sugar. It's quite cheap thanks to imports from the New World, so if they knew what it was, they wouldn't come after it. I am uncertain. The clan's storytellers say that outsiders believe whatever they wish to believe. But people like that entering the forest must cause problems for you. Perhaps I was wrong about all this. Do not worry. In fact, I brought you a gift. These seeds are rich in oil and can be used for food or fuel. They do not grow well outside of the forest, but if you can manage to cultivate them, they should fetch a high price. I've never seen seeds like this. My deepest thanks, Sir Omid. It is merely a token of thanks for your tribute and understanding. As I watched Lizelot speak with Omid, her hand tightly gripping the seeds, I prayed that this symbol of their friendship would help the town prosper. Which it does. Now this town has grown, although I don't know why. It's like, the town growing only affects their secondary attributes, so I don't know what good it does with Daka, because you don't get better weapons, maybe a few better items, but maybe that's it, you just get a few extra items. Iriani, 30% health recovery at the start. All damage plus 15. Port Kawani Superb, okay, that is new, the Port Kakuni Superb quality, so that's what changes. Weapons, unfortunately, do not. I mean, seriously, where is a level 50 weapon for me? I'm too lazy to go around searching for one here. I want to finish this thing. I'll just have to try it with what I've got. Final key. Against Oswell. Your opponent's health recovers over time. Weaving my way through the battlefield, I at last arrived at the Hall of the Chosen in Ostrheinsberg Castle. There Oswell stood waiting for me, eager to reveal the key ingredient he needed to make his plans a reality. This might not even be the final fight. There might be 2 or 3 of them, but I'm going to go ahead and use my cursed cult oil. Oh, also, let's go ahead and use my mercenary. Okay, they get different food and everything. So for her, I'm going to give her... I don't know. Throw damage. Maybe she'll be lucky and throw him a bit. And her weapon, can she use... Nope. Oh, she can. I can give her that at least. Yeah, those spins sometimes work really well when you're really close to the enemy. It makes them miss a whole lot. That's sad. Ostrheinsberg Castle was filled with the clash and clamor of battle. Everywhere I looked, groups of Aval soldiers fought desperately against the qualifiers. Before I knew it, I'd lost sight of Natalie and Dion in the fray. As I made my way upstairs, the sounds of battle grew dim. Eventually, only the sound of my footsteps echoed through the silent halls. The Hall of the Chosen was just ahead. The Hall of the Chosen was nothing like I had imagined. Large gaps in the crumbling castle walls let in the quiet silvery light of the moon, illuminating Aswell. He turned to face me as I entered, spreading his arms wide. That was very rude of you to keep me waiting, my friend, but I knew you would come. I looked around, but it was just the 2 of us. Relax, it is just the 2 of us. No one shall disturb us. The others have their hands full downstairs. But it is such a tragedy they are killing each other over this, is it not? It appeared the ceremony had yet to begin. I needed to act fast. I readied my weapon, and Aswell's grin broadened. My, how strong you have become. I knew it. You're perfect. For you to make it this far shows how close to the gods you are. Seeing the puzzlement on my face, Aswell sighed and wagged his finger in disapproval. Think for a moment. What do we need to create the ultimate seed? First, we take the power of the spirit and cursed swords. Then we mix in the energy of the heavens, today's celestial spectacle, and the energy of the earth, the ley lines. Even those fools at the Aval organization would no doubt have figured that out, even without my research notes. However, that alone is not enough. Why, I could destroy a country or 2, but that's boring. We are aiming to change the very world, my dear. We are still missing one key component. And what is it we lack? Something to create an enormous wave of energy. Something that can absorb power, amplify it, and loose it with exponentially greater force. In other words, you. To my surprise, Aswell pointed at me. The moment I laid my eyes on you, I knew you were the one. A human who was able to absorb the power of the astral fissures. A human who could even claim the power of the astral chaos. However, when we first met, you were still too weak for my needs, so I allowed you to live, knowing you would become more powerful eventually. I bided my time until the day we would meet again. And here you are. Everything has led up to this one perfect moment. Today, you and I are part of a beautiful miracle. Aswell lifted his 2 swords menacingly. All that remains now is to force the power of these blades to resonate with the power inside you. Chaotic energy and the might of these swords will intertwine, amplify, and burst forth. Then and only then will the ultimate seed come into being and cleanse this world. Though you will most likely die in the process, your death will not be in vain. You will be the stepping stone for humanity's great evolution. Oh, what a glorious, happy fate. Oh no, don't tell me you think to resist. Fret not. I will give you the pure ecstasy that I promise you. All I have to do is impale you on these swords, and my plan will succeed. So come, let the finale commence. Okay, my great mercenary.
Battle 1.
Beat him up for me a little bit, will you? Go, mercenary, go! Come on, finish him! Don't let him recover. Yes! Thank you, mercenary! One battle down for me.
Can you stand the test?
No, she can't, apparently.
My love, you pass.
You missed. Ooh, throw damage plus. Ah. Oh well. One battle won by my mercenary is pretty good. Hopefully it stays.
Battle
Yes, it does. Good.
Let us guide the human race together. No more half measures. To reach my goal, fight. Take this. Watch this. Too easy. Missed me. Watch this. Can you stand the test? Accept this from me! My love! You passed.
Ah, that was too easy. There's definitely another fight after this. Kinda figured.
You have begun to change. I knew you would not disappoint. In that case, I shall have to show you the ace up my sleeve.
Grunting, quite an ace.
I will not be defeated. Using you as the key, I will save the human race. I am so close, so very close to the moment my beloved humans shall be freed from their cruel fate. Let's be done with this. Will you stop me and emerge victorious? Or shall I claim victory and lead humanity to a new era? With all my might, I shall make you mine!
Your soul surges in your body.
More things, Beard. The Journey's End. Level 55 as well. Earn out. Permanently soul charged and their health recovers over time. Ah, boy. Yeah, that's the critical rate. That's the main thing I need for this. All my highest level ones. I guess I could go with a Taki style for this final battle. I haven't used it at all before, I haven't changed my weapon, but now I'm going to go ahead and use Taki style just because I have this outrageously powerful weapon. Plus 30% at HP 30% or below. Nah, I'm not going to. I'm gonna stick to my Geralt. Soul gauge recovery every 0.5 seconds. That might still be better even without the good bonus. That's just so much damage. And soul gauge recovery is very good. Speaking of which, I need my last soul gauge increase in T plus 75%. Ringhouse disabled. Okay. Here we go. Let's see how many tries it takes me to beat the final boss. What's got to be the final boss?
Battle 1. Fight! Oh my! The old era has ended. A new age begins!
Yep.
Battle 2. Fight! Oh my! Take this! Oh my! Take this! And this! Nice try!
Okay.
Battle 3. Fight! Become mine!
Oh dear.
How cathartic! Such brilliance!
Ah, so close.
Battle 4. Fight!
Okay.
Final battle. Fight! Let me guide you!
Darn it.
How cathartic!
So close, so close.
The soul of a warrior now lays here to rest.
Battle 1. Fight! The old era has ended. A new age begins! No more half measures. Battle 2. Fight! Oh my!
Somehow my soul gauge is not going off. That was a creep slightly.
Become mine!
Darn it.
I'm trying to skip the cutscene of him killing me, because I know I'm just gonna die anyway.
Excellently done. Battle 3. Fight!
Okay.
To reach my goal, fight! I see! Let me guide you! How cathartic! I see! Can you stand?
Sheesh.
My love! How cathartic!
Wow.
Take this!
Ha ha ha! There we go. Nope.
It's not over yet. I shall free humanity from the binds of fate.
Oh, nice.
You are the one I sought.
torrent of light consumed my body, and I began to slip into unconsciousness. It was finally time to die. But I was ready to accept my fate, no longer afraid of the cold hand of death. The ultimate seed was no more. I had played my part. When I opened my eyes, I was in the ruins of Ostrheinsberg Castle. Our victory was a narrow one indeed, but Aswell's schemes have come to nothing. Zosselma was standing by my side, and a hushed silence surrounded us. I thanked him for everything he had done and asked what he would do next. I shall continue to observe the world. I wish to see what the future that began today holds. Be proud, Kain. You not only saved yourself, but the world. I parted ways with Zosselma at the castle and soon ran into Dion and Natalie. Kain, we were ready to give up. We searched the castle but found no sign of you, Aswell, or any fragment of the spirit sword. What happened? Were you able to defeat Aswell? I nodded and explained everything that had happened. Incredible. You've done a great deed today. We have seen no evidence of the ultimate seed on our end. Though we are still investigating, I believe we can rest easy for now. Some of the qualifiers still remain, but we have cut off the serpent's head. They should be easy to take care of. Thank you, Kain. We would like to continue working with you. If we discover any new information you could use, we will send a messenger. The location of astral fissures, for example, or grow. Enough talking. We must go, Dion. Indeed. Farewell, Kain. Thank you again for all you have done. As my journey came to an end, I reflected on everything that had happened. Though I had started off fighting for my life, I ended up fighting to protect the world. I thought about what I had achieved and where fate had led me. If I had fulfilled my purpose, what should I do next? I could not decide just yet. For now I would rest, and ready myself for my next journey. The Sharpest Blade. Chapter 5. A New Journey. So that isn't even the end. There's still more. I mean, I figured that there'd be like things that you could do along the way. Human Pass, BNTN. But I figured that that the final battle with Aswell would at least be where it all came to an end. Well, Ostrheinsberg. There's something here. Knights of Wolfkrone. They're focusing a lot on the Knights of Wolfkrone in the game too, so they really seem to be setting up for Hildegard to take, to appear at some point in Soulcalibur 6 or maybe even in a Soulcalibur 7. Sometimes I wonder if a bunch of this stuff is actually setting up in case they can make a sequel. Opening Roads Friendship, so that'd be another one. There's another Zosselma here, The Story of a Man, because of fate. Search of Strength, there's Bounty for Scoundrels. Artificial Scripture Screams, there's that one I need to do. That's just a bounty. That's just a bounty. Human Pass. Footsteps the Spellcaster. Ah, more about Grow. Or, not Grow, but Geralt. Hey, Kain! Kain! I turned to see where the voice was coming from and saw Dion. He told me he'd been sent here on a mission a few days prior, and a local Laval agent had told him I was nearby. It seemed the organization was still keeping an eye on me. What happy fate that we should meet like this. I have something to tell you. How about we go somewhere to eat? Despite his enthusiasm about running into me, Dion appeared worn out. Curious to hear what was bothering him, I took him up on his invitation. We entered a local tavern, and after we placed our orders, Dion turned to face me. Tell me, Kain, do you think the astral fissures might just disappear without you or Aswell closing them? I'd never heard of anything of the sort and told him as much. He looked at me for a moment, then downed his mug in a single gulp. I suppose it is too good a tale to be true. I wouldn't believe it if I heard it either. According to Dion, a number of astral fissures had disappeared recently. Aval knew I had the ability to close them, and also that I was nowhere nearby when the fissures were destroyed. With virtually no leads, the investigation was floundering. I know I need not say this, but finding out how those astral fissures were destroyed is of the utmost importance. We've held nothing back in our investigation, but... I could tell what he was thinking. Dion must have read it on my face, and he gave me a pained smile. We are not completely without clues. Witnesses claim to have seen a man in the area, whenever a fissure mysteriously disappears. We have heard that he seems to use strange techniques, but beyond that we know nothing of him. 3 times, teams were sent out to investigate this man and the fissure's disappearance. 3 times they came back empty-handed. Since then, we have had no word of either man or vanishing astral fissure. First investigation. For some reason, the investigators' conclusions all varied. The only thing they agreed on was that the man in question was supposedly old and had long white hair tied back. The team managed to locate this white-haired man and set a trap. When they moved in to capture him, he turned the tables and defeated them soundly. In contrast to the reports from our first team, they claimed the man was both strong and youthful. Hard to believe both teams had dealt with the same man. The lack of results was troubling, so I decided to lend my aid to the third team. We tracked the white-haired man into the Himalayas, where we finally caught up to him. Dion paused for a moment, his expression troubled. We found him, or at least I think we did. I remember asking him about the astral fissures, and then he muttered something under his breath and held his hand up to my face. The next thing I remember, he was gone. I'd let him go. He'd let the man go? I looked at Dion in disbelief, and he just shook his head in response. The only thing I remember clearly were his eyes. They were sharp, strong, brimming with resolve. His face remains shadowed in my memory. Perhaps he used one of these strange techniques on me. So yeah, Geralt's still trying to find a way home. I have a thought. Dion began to speak quickly and with great excitement. Perhaps his drink has loosened his tongue. I came across an ancient text in Aval's archives that spoke of an old man in the Himalayas who wielded techniques similar to those of this white-haired man. Perhaps if the sage were somehow still alive today, he and his mysterious powers could be responsible for destroying the fissures. Don't look at me like that. It's just a theory. It's far more likely that our reports were wrong and that the astral fissures were destroyed never existed in the first place. Dion paused for a moment, then shouted for a stronger drink. We've talked enough of work. Tell me what you've been up to since we last met. Natalie says, as Natalie is, as she always is. Dion quickly shifted the conversation from catching up to complaining about Natalie. If he hadn't eventually passed out, he would have probably talked until his tongue fell off. Our meeting was fun, but I had places to be. I left the snoring Dion a note and departed the village in the morning. Kumis. Is that a type of drink? Pounding Heart. That I still need to do at some point. The Fires of Hell Nightmare. A level 75 nightmare mission. Darkest depths of the void, or maybe it's actually Inferno. I laughed at my body, searing my skin and contorting all I could see. One last shred of consciousness reigned in me, an insatiable craving, an unquenchable thirst for something. That sounds fun. Or maybe not. Well, still a few things left to do, but I think that that's going to be all for right now. I'll pick up Chapter 5 later. First of all... Nice, finally. I couldn't bring up that thing you posted on my phone, so I had to do it on my desktop. That's pretty funny. Anyway, I'll have to do more of this later on. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. I also have a couple of speedrun things I need to do in preparation for my marathon next week. I'll be running for Distance Dare Cares Worlds. Extra Life is the name of the marathon. I'm going to be running early Sunday morning, both Soulcalibur 3 and then my Pool of Radiance run, so that's going to be exciting. I'll probably talk a bit more about that next week right before it comes. In any case, take care, and I will see all of you later.